What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Cover Fire, a new show here at the IGN Pro League where we're going to be talking about all shooters, and it is pretty cool because there's a lot to talk about. I'm Golden Boy FTW. Joined with me is Ryan Sickness Mitchell. He's actually one of the guys who I guess you could say was a pro in FPS. No, he actually was a legit, CSGO, or no, it's not CSGO, CS, TF2, 1.6. Yeah, you didn't play Source. You were too cool for school, right?
Too cool for school, man.
I know, I hear you.
But then, yeah, back in the day, I played a little natural selection, but I don't think you can really call that professional, let's be honest.
Oh, no, not at all. But we do have a great show lined up for you guys here today. First off, let's just jump right into it, and we are going to talk about Rambo joining Team Envious. Now, this was some pretty big news because Rambo actually is, I would say, a big name in the Call of Duty community. I would say one of the better players as well, very educated player. And him joining Envy just adds to that roster, to the legacy of that team. You know what I mean?
Right. So he's not necessarily the best shooter, but, he's kind of got the brains to it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's really what makes Rambo, such a valuable asset to any team.
Oh, yeah.
He is knowledgeable on, all kinds of facets of the game, whether it's hard point, search and destroy, capture the flag. Doesn't matter what it is. Very smart player. So he really just adds so much to the roster, and I'm just looking forward to seeing what they do moving forward with all the events lining up for Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need that smart guy on your team. It's kind of the brains of the operation. That's always going to help your team, and you really do need to have at least one of those people on your team in order to be, one of the top contenders.
I do agree. But, moving on, of course, we have a lot of great players and teams out there, some making some fantastic names for themselves, but one name in particular, the Ninjas in Pyjamas. Let's talk about these beasts right now, because this is insane. They are, and you can cover more on this one, Ryan, they are undefeated at LAN. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so their map score on LAN in the last few months, they formed at the end of 2012. Their map score is 58-0 at LAN.
That's insane.
And
it's not even right.
The match score there is 42-0. So some of those are best of threes and some of those are just best of ones. But yeah, they're undefeated. And, a lot of their games are just complete domination, and they have three very strong players from 1.6 in Forest, Get Right, and Exist, who, those guys are just so good.
Yeah.
And then they have two Source players, Flifarin and Freiburg. So
that's insane to see, 1.6 and Source players teaming up. Didn't really expect that.
Yeah, it's kind of, for CSGO, there's a lot of aspects that are the same for 1.6, and then also they're the same for Source. A lot of the maps are kind of more similar to the Source maps, and a lot of the grenade placements and whatnot are similar to Source. But yeah, so it's good to see a mix of that, Yeah. And right now, no one is really even close to contending with them. So it's crazy. Let's see how long they're, really going to hold on to that lead.
Yeah, and, before we move on, though, what teams are in the position to be able to take down, NIP? Is there anyone that can stop these guys?
Well, you got American teams that kind of came close at ESWC. They got third place. They had a good showing. But the American scene is generally seen as a little bit below the European scene in Counter-Strike, and it has been that way for a long time now. Then you have European teams like Very Gamers, they're old Source players. You have ESC, which is, Neo and his old 1.6 squad, with some new additions and whatnot. But, and then, you even have South American teams like the old the Mibber guys with Kogu and stuff. They haven't been doing too well lately, but it's going to take some time for any of those teams really to catch up with NIP, though.
So they are just a league beyond everyone else at this point in time. Now, of course, moving on to some more news that we have here in IGN Pro League, at least, we ourselves are going to be hosting a new tournament, which will feature two of our top teams, four of our top teams. Let me recorrect myself there. 4 of our top teams, and it's featuring some new maps, which is I'm actually really excited about because it's going to add some new flavor to ShootMania.
Yeah.
No more Castle Crash, or at least for this event, we're going to see some new maps. Ryan, what do you think so far about this?
So we have about 38, 37 maps that were submitted by a lot of people, So we have 9 maps that we've chosen from those, the best maps that we decided on. And we're having a tournament this week with 4 teams. It's going to be a round robin. best of 3. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of good maps, a lot of unique takes, with especially with a lot of the new Beta 2 stuff added into these maps as well.
Yeah, you know, that's the coolest thing about, you know, all the new additions that are coming to ShootMania, whether it's like wall jumping or, you know, the bouncing rockets, or even, you know, which we've seen a lot, which was laser shooting rockets, has added an interesting dynamic to the game. But I think wall jumping has really been like a big addition that has changed a lot of like just the way players approach a situation. And I'm pretty pumped about that. I know as a PC guy, you're really stoked about that too.
Yeah, no, it definitely adds a great dynamic to the ShootMania game and just in general. And then with all these new maps, you know, we have grapple hooks added as well. Yeah. It's gonna be a lot more fast paced and more action, which is something that's good in FPS games.
Something you always want to see. Something you always want to see. Anyway, moving on though to Major League Gaming announcing that their next event will be in Dallas, Texas, and it will be March 15th through the 17th. Now, no announcement as to what games are being included, which MLG has done in the past. They, you know, announced that they're going to be, you know, doing an event at X location, and they just don't tell you what's going to be there. The consensus from the community right now is that it is going to be StarCraft, of course, League of Legends. In my personal opinion, they'd be fools not to bring it back because of how booming that community is. But the sneaker, I would say, and they're the little sneaky one, is the sneaky beaver is going to be Call of Duty, which could be added into the circuit. A lot of Halo players not liking that, of course, you know, with Halo 4 being out and everything. But it almost feels as if, you know, them waiting this long to say what titles are going to be there, either A, could just be a logistics issue, or B, could possibly be something bigger than that. Maybe it's like they're just not sure and people are just going off of raw assumption. What do you think?
Yeah, it could be. I mean, I know you're a COD guy, so obviously you want COD over there. The good old blops.
I mean, I want any kind of shooter. You know, I think that like shooters are so underrepresented in the community, and I think 2013 really is going to be like the rise of the shooter, in my personal opinion. We have a lot of great games coming out. CS:GO is really coming into its own. ShootMania is starting to boom a little bit. You know, and Call of Duty with UMG just having a 20,000 viewership, 20,000 viewers for their UMG event. That's massive, and you can't ignore that stuff.
Yeah, no, that is impressive, and I think it's about time that the FPS communities, you know, kind of rise up, because lately it's been all RTS and MOBA. Right. So I mean, it'll be great to see all these new FPS titles coming out, see how they do, and hopefully, you know, a few of them can catch on and become really big.
Yep. So lots of news there, but you can always find out more information about that down below, and yeah, it should be pretty fun. We'll see what comes of that moving forward. Now, we're going to be moving on to bullet points, which is an awesome part of the show where Ryan's just going to scream out some weird things and I'm going to blurt out some more weird things. So let's go ahead and just jump right into this one. First bullet point. Give me the bam, Ryan.
Bam.
All right, here we go. First bullet point. EGL 9 was announced, and they have a new format that is going to be taking some of the seedings from MLG in the past, the way that they operated with pool play and all that. That's a system that they're going to be adding. So look out for EGL 9. They're going to feature Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War. Lots of games are going to be added to EGL 9. Crazy stuff indeed.
Bam!
Next up, we're going to have new Black Ops 2 DLC that actually was just announced. It was a Revolution, I believe is the name of the new DLC. I'm not too sure. Yeah, actually, it is Revolution. And they're going to have a new SMG and a lot of maps and some zombie stuff as well. So look out for that. I'm pretty sure that is going to be some pretty awesome stuff for Call of Duty fans.
Bam!
ESEA just released their new, I would say, the RK Awards. There's a writer at ESEA for TF2, and he talks about all the different people that had really shined throughout the season. And you know, of course, with season 13 kicking off, I'm really excited to see what TF2 play is going to develop into, because these players are just absolutely fantastic, and I had a great time there. So yeah, shout out to TF2. And last but not least, Existence picks up an EU team, okay, for ShootMania, but VVV also picks up a North American team for ShootMania. So two organizations that were not involved with ShootMania prior are now going to get into the fray, and I'm really pumped to see what those two teams bring to the table. So shout out to Existence and VVV Gaming, and thank you for supporting the ShootMania community. Last man.
Bam!
All right, guys. So that's pretty much it for Cover Fire. I'm Golden Boy FTW.
I'm
This
Sickness.
cornball here is Sickness.
Sorry, guys. Got to do it.
And in the words of the gun, take it easy. Peace.